The angel Michael, to all the rest unseen, appeared before Godfredo's eyes in pure and heavenly armor, richly dressed, brighter than Titan's rays in clearest skies. Godfrey, quoth he, this is the moment blessed to free this town that long in bondage lies. See, see what legions in thine aid I bring, for heaven assists thee, and heaven's glorious King. Lift up thine eyes, and in the air behold the sacred armies, how they mustered be, that cloud of flesh in which for times of old all mankind rapid is, I take from thee, and from thy senses their thick mist unfold, that face to face thou mayest these spirits see, and for a little space right well sustain their glorious light, and view those angels plain. Behold the souls of every lord and knight that late bore arms and died for Christ's dear sake, how on thy side against this town they fight, and of thy joy and conquest will partake. There where the dust and smoke blind all men's sight, where stones and ruins such an heap do make, there Hugo fights, in thickest cloud embarred, and undermines that bulwark's groundwork hard. See Dudon yonder, who with sword and fire assails and helps to scale the northern port, that with bold courage doth thy folk inspire, and rears their ladders gainst the assaulted fort. He that high on the mount in grave attire is clad, and crowned stands in kingly sort, is Bishop Adamare, a blessed spirit, blessed for his faith, crowned for his death and merit. But higher lift thy happy eyes, and view where all the sacred hosts of heaven appear. He looked, and saw where winged armies flew, innumerable, pure, divine, and clear. A battle round of squadrons three they show, and all by threes those squadrons ranged were, which spreading wide in rings still wider go, moved with a stone calm, water circleth so. With that he winked, and vanished was and gone, that wondrous vision. When he looked again, his worthies fighting viewed he one by one, and on each side saw signs of conquest plain. For with Rinaldo 'gainst his yielding loan, his knights were entered, and the pagans slain. These seen, the Duke no longer stay could brook, but from the bearer bold his ensign took. And on the bridge he stepped, but there was stayed by Solyman, who entrance all denied. That narrow tree to virtue great was made. The field as in few blows right soon was tried. Here will I give my life for Sion's aid. Here will I end my days, the Soldan cried. Behind me cut or break this bridge, that I may kill 1,000 Christians first, then die. But thither fierce Rinaldo threatening went, and at his sight fled all the Soldan's train. What shall I do? If here my life be spent, I spend and spill, quoth he, my blood in vain. With that his steps from Godfrey back he bent, and to him let the passage free remain, who threatening followed as the Soldan fled, and on the walls the purple cross dispread. About his head he tossed, he turned, he cast that glorious ensign with 1,000 twines. Thereon the wind breathes with his sweetest blast. Thereon with golden rays glad Phoebus shines. Earth laughs for joy, the streams forbear their haste. Floods clap their hands, on mountains dance the pines, and Sion's towers and sacred temples smile for their deliverance from that bondage vile. And now the armies reared the happy cry of victory, glad, joyful, loud, and shrill. The hills resound, the echo showereth high, and Tancred bold, that fights in combat still with proud Argantes, brought his tower so nigh, that on the wall against the boaster's will, in his despite, his bridge he also laid, and won the place, and there the cross displayed. But on the southern hill, where Raymond fought against the townsmen and their aged king, his hardy Gascons gained small or naught. Their engine to the walls they could not bring, for thither all his strength the prince had brought, for life and safety sternly combating, and for the wall was feeblest on that coast. There were his soldiers best, and engines most. Besides, the tower upon that quarter found unsure, uneasy, and uneven the way, nor art could help, but that the rougher ground the rolling mass did often stop and stay. But now of victory the joyful sound the king and Raymond heard amid their fray, and by the shout they and their soldiers know the town was entered on the plain below. Which heard, Raimondo thus bespake this crew: "The town is won, my friends, and doth it yet resist? Are we kept out still by these few? Shall we no share in this high conquest get?" But from that part the king at last withdrew. He strove in vain their entrance there to let. Into a stronger place his folk he brought, where to sustain the assault a while he thought. The conquerors at once now entered all. The walls were won, the gates were opened wide. Now bruised, broken down, destroyed fall the ports and towers that battery durst abide. Rageth the sword, death murdereth great and small, and proud 'twixt woe and horror sad doth ride. Here runs the blood, in ponds there stands the gore, and drowns the knights in whom it lived before.